Good morning, friends. Today we're going to do a little gate installation. This piece of ground behind me is very difficult to get livestock into. Turn it into basically a goldenrod, maldiflower rose, honeysuckle patch that's not as beneficial as it could be. We're going to install a gate right here, and you can see it's in a corner. It's not ideal because it's on an angle. It's on a sharp angle. We're going to have the gate swing from that post over there back to here. Whenever you're installing gates or putting breaks in your fence, you need to think about livestock flow. Our other option to install the gate, which I think would be more of a pain in the neck for me, would be to put a gate over here in this corner. Like, I can put a gate here, the livestock will come out there very easily, but getting the livestock to flow back, or trying to get the livestock into that area, could be challenging. I'd probably have to set a temporary fence from here to there and hope that some of the animals don't go through that temporary fence trying to get them into that area. This here's a control area that I have. I've never done anything here. It's one of the controls we have on the farm to see about productivity. We've grazed this twice this year. The overall production is very, very low in comparison to, say, this field over here. This field here is very productive. We grazed that right before the killing frost, and you can see how much it's grown back already. It's a very productive field. Some of this orchard grass has grown 18 inches since the killing frost, which we had a killing frost, I believe it was October 20th, and this here's about the 15th of November, I believe. So it's continuing to grow. Another thing with gate installation, we don't want to put a gate in the center, because trying to get the livestock to flow through the center, getting them to go through there, could be very challenging. So we need to put that gate in the corner. So we're going to put that gate over here. I'm hoping that we only need to drive one post, but we may have to pull an existing line post and move it over a little bit. But today we'll be driving our post with a shaver number 10. It's a decent little driver if you're just driving just a few posts. I wouldn't recommend it if you're building a whole fencing system. It's very difficult to get them. You have to be very cautious on how you drive those posts. Has a tendency not to want to drive them straight. Of course, it could be the operator too, who knows. Do some measuring. This is a 10-foot gate. I need a 10'5" opening. So we're gonna measure this off, and we're gonna cut this wire right here. We're gonna cut the wire here, and then we're gonna bring it back around. We'll put fast locks or gripples on it. I'm not sure what I have to tie it off, so we have the fence here, and then we'll be doing some, I'll show you how to do a termination knot on the end, and then the strainers to tighten this fence back up are clear over in that corner. So, well, let's get to it. And of course, I have my buddy with me today. Toby, he goes everywhere with me. I'd bring Scout along too, but it's pretty hard to fit Scout on the tractor too. So Toby's helping me. Maybe he can go in there and chase some bunny rabbits or something. We'll see. There's a fox living in there also. He likes to chase the foxes. Can't chase him. He can't catch them, but he sure tries. It's amazing how fast a fox can run. Toby can run 23 miles an hour and a fox can put distance between him and Toby, so it gets interesting sometimes. Okay, I marked this at 10'5", and this here's one of those deals where you want to measure twice and drive the post once. I have some gates on the farm that only swing one way because my fence installer got the posts too close together, and he'll only swing one way, and it's very inconvenient sometimes to have fence or your gates only swing one direction. So better to measure twice and pound once. Let's see here, we may need to, hoping, yeah, we're gonna have to pull that line post and move it over a couple feet. Not a big deal. Show you how to do that. We got our fences cut. Driving 8-foot posts today. This here will be for the H brace, the post in between the two posts, and then this here will be our post that holds the fence up. Now you see I wrapped that chain around that post at the bottom, and then I tried to lift it out with the driver. The driver's hydraulics are not as strong as the tractor hydraulics, so I put tension on it and then I lifted it out with a 3-point hitch on the tractor. Oops, dropped you. Hopefully this one goes in a little easier. Got her right in it, right at 52 inches, just right where we want it. Take the tractor back, park it in the barn, and we'll bring the side-by-side out and finish this job up. Shouldn't take more than an hour or so. Toby thinks that he needs to get his driver's license. He doesn't like to share the tractor seat with me sometimes. That's okay. I love him anyhow. Give me this. Okay, we went back. We got the buggy. We got Mr. Scout with us. Got Toby, of course. Molly, she's in here somewhere. What we got to do is we got to put this post up here, and we connect it with pins and put a brace wire on it. And what we're doing is making an H brace to make a good solid end. And I'll show you how to tie those termination knots on the ends. We'll be using two different length pins. We use a short pin and then a long pin. Short pin will go in on this side, and then our long pin will be on this side. And we got lucky with that post, or this brace post here. A lot of times you have to cut those off. We need a staple down here for our brace wire. Get it down as low as you can get it. Once we get a piece of wire through there, we'll put this staple in behind it. They'll help keep that wire from cutting into the post. We'll be using a fast lock for this. They say that these things can be dangerous. I've never had a problem with them, but just a heads up that could potentially be a problem. So be careful whenever you're using these. Now we got our brace wire. It's crisscrossed here, and we'll tighten it up. I'm going to finish driving this staple here in. Just snug. You don't want it. You need that wire to be able to move in there. But the deeper in it is, the better it hold on the wire. So now that we got all this, we got our brace, our H brace. We got one post in, another post, and then our top post with pins, the pins sticking out here to hold this wire. That way whenever we pull back against this here will actually hold it and keep that fence from pulling on it. Makes a nice real strong end. Okay, got my wire fed back through where we cut it. We got lucky with this post. We got those insulators back in square where they need to be, so we didn't need to reposition those onto the post. So We're getting lucky all over the place today, aren't we? Went ahead and I loosened the strainers out. The strainers are clear over there at the other end. I went ahead and loosened them strainers. So we want to make this D knot as tight as we possibly can by hand. See how I just twisted out, or took this end, this here's the tag end here. I just twisted it around, pulled a little bit tighter, and then just tie it off, hand tie it. Tag end's a little bit long, which is to be expected. We got a little extra wire. This one here, they say it only requires 2 wraps, but just to be safe, I put my 6 wraps on it. Twist your handle, back around, break off, nice and smooth. Put a staple in there. Do the next one. Now the bottom wire is about 8 inches off the ground, and I'll run it in between the brace wire here, because if I put it on the outside, it has a tendency to want to touch this outside wire, and if I ever make that fence hot, it'll short out. See, I like my mini bolt cutters to cut this wire. It's a lot easier with the bolt cutters. Slide that up a little bit so I can just tie it off. Couple ugly knots there, but that's okay. The cows don't care, and it's still going to serve its purpose and hold. So I'm okay with a couple ugly ones. I'm not perfect. And this hand tying deal for me is kind of new. I've probably only done a couple hundred so far. So position our wires and staple the ends, and that section there is good. I'm not a professional fence builder, don't claim to be, but I can still get the job done. It's going to do a decent job and be in service for a number of years, so it's not a big deal. It's all that matters is functionality. I guess if it looks good too is a plus. That there comes back again to the cows really don't care what it looks like. Don't forget to put a staple in behind here. That way when this wire pulls tight, it won't pull through your post. All right, off to this end. I'm gonna put some gripples in this one. pull all these staples out here because we're gonna have end insulators on there. Staples come out easy and sometimes they're not so easy. So we'll see how it goes. Make sure you pick your staples up. Buddy, what you doing, huh? What you doing? Boy Scout. Boy. What? What? I know. We're getting her done. I hate fast locks. The reason we're using fast locks on this is they're a lot cheaper than strainers. Strainers are about $3 a piece, $4 a piece. These here are $1 a piece, so it's just more cost effective. And this is only spanning an 8-foot section, so I'm not too worried about strength wise. Although those gripples can really hold, they hold pretty good because you're using them on your corners and your ends, and there's a lot of stress against them. It's pretty strong. I'd like to see that one there a little tighter. It's the one that wouldn't tighten up for me, so. We have these L bolts, and one needs to be facing down, and the bottom one needs to be facing up. That way something can't come along if they're both facing up. If something came along and picked up on this gate, it would just pick it right up off the hinges. Need to drill 2 holes 38 inches apart, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Now I repurposed this gate from another area or another spot on the farm, an interior gate that a spring gate was suitable for, so we put a spring gate there and took this gate from there. But the problem with this gate is, and I'm gonna try, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but when people climb on your gates, they have a tendency to break your gates and bend your bolts on your gates. So if people come to your farm and want to hunt or something, ask them not to climb on the gates. Because I have quite a few of them with bent pins and different things from people climbing on the gates. Their gate on, got it adjusted. Now what we got to do is we got to hook onto this wire. Our fence is hot on this side. There's no connection to that side over there. So what we got to do is bury a piece of wire across underneath, put it up through. As I said before, it'd be a whole lot easier to do it with the excavator, but it would take me longer to get the excavator here over here than it would be to just dig it in by hand. So that's what we're gonna do, dig this in by hand. I'll be using this wire here. It's specifically made to connect electric fencing together. I'll sleeve this wire going underneath the gate with a piece of 1/2-inch PEX tubing, just for preventative maintenance. Like I told you before, I like to do things once. I don't want to have to dig this back up and put another piece of wire in there, because from driving over top it, I poked a rock through it. These bottom 3 are cold. We're going to tie on to this one here. We'll just wrap it around there 4 or so times. Fence pliers to tighten that up. That's not going to be very tight. See how that slides on there? That isn't going to make a good connection, so I'll have to tighten that up with a pair of pliers. Okay, we got it tight now. Now I'll take this and tack it to the post with a staple. Okay, now I'm going to backfill the ditch back across here, and then we'll make the connection at the other end. How do you like my shovel? Everybody that comes to the farm makes fun of my shovel. That baby's got some dirt on it. It's been around a while. Okay, we're just gonna make this one here hot and the top one hot. Ordered 25 feet and I don't think I got it. Good thing I didn't order 20 feet or we wouldn't have had enough. That would have been a 16-foot gate. It wouldn't have worked. Keep an eye on where that staple flew. To strip this wire, you just need to score it with your knife. Breaks right off. Pull the insulation off. Pretty simple. you don't need to try and strip all that insulation off there. I'm pretty sure we should be able to get this one tight. I got a good long tag end on it. So now we have the electric underneath the gate and it was hooked on here. Now I'm going to take a piece of high tensile wire, hook it here, jump it up onto the top wire so that top wire's hot as well. Of course, so let's try it. It may be connected on at the other end, I don't know. Fence is hitting about 7,000 today. Turn that jumper on. So that makes this fence here hot. Down to 6.6. This top wire's hot. No. So we need to put a jumper on here. To get. It's not a big deal. I'll show you how to do that. I put an insulator on here and staple it down. That helps just for if some reason that wire might move. Now we can do a better job managing this piece of land. Just growing up into multiflower rose, and there's some quaking aspen in there, although the quaking aspen is a very good wildlife plant. This originally was a piece of woods. It was a little patch of woods about 2 acres here, and it was about 50% ash, and then the rest of it was black cherry. And whenever the ash died from the emerald ash borer beetle, it stressed the cherry trees out, and in stressing the cherry trees out, they weren't able to fight off the peach bark beetle, which killed the cherry trees in here. So I had to come in here a couple years ago and basically salvage the lumber that was in here. So I left all the trees that was healthy and doing well, and you can see there's just a handful. Now down at the other end, nice stand of black walnut coming on. There's a couple black walnut trees down there probably ready for harvest, but I'm going to hold off. One of them's dead. We're going to harvest that this winter and hopefully slab it. Maybe we can do a video slabbing the black walnut. Hey, we did pretty good today. It's a beautiful day. Sun actually come out this afternoon. It's not as dark and gloomy. These dark, gloomy days that we've been having lately are kind of depressing. That was my phone beeping. I'm guessing that Mama and the kids are ready to go split a steer out in the pasture. We're going to do a video on that also. So be looking for that. We're going to tape the good, the bad, and the ugly of splitting the cattle off the herd. Actually, it actually goes pretty easily. Here's how we install a 10-foot gate. Well, friends, we're going to call that a video. If you please subscribe, like, comment, and hit the notification bell. We sure would appreciate it. So long.